Hi boys and girls, it's Ms. Taylor. I'm going to read to you today a book called Squeak the Lion. It is written by Catherine Sully and illustrated by Emma Leach. Squeak the Lion, that's a funny name. Little Squeak was the youngest lion cub in the pride. All the other lions loved Squeak. He's so cute and cuddly, they said. Isn't he funny, they said. But Squeak didn't want to be cute or funny. Squeak wanted to be just like his older brothers, Bruno and Leo. Leo, we know that name. Miss Keith has a baby named Leo. Huh. Bruno was brave and strong. Leo was clever and cunning. So there they are. There's Squeak, and there are his brothers. Squeak wasn't even his proper name. His real name was Rory. That was a proper lion's name. Squeak was a silly baby name. Why does everyone call me Squeak? He asked his brothers grumpily. Because when you were a baby, you went squeak, explained Leo. So everyone called you Squeak, laughed Bruno. So they were laughing, but I don't think Squeak was. One day, Bruno and Leo were going hunting. Wait for me, called Squeak, trotting after them. Squeak hurried to catch up, but soon his little legs were feeling tired. He stopped for a rest and watched as Bruno and Leo disappeared into the tall grass. When he finally caught up with them, Bruno and Leo were crouched over a nest of tasty-looking eggs. Suddenly there was a hiss. A head appeared, swaying above the tall grass. It was a snake. The nest of eggs belonged to her. She lunged at the lion cubs, but brave Bruno roared. He swiped the snake with his paw, and it slithered away. Whew, boy, that was close. They were lucky. There they were. How lucky were they? Wow, Bruno, that was brave, said Leo as the lion cubs made their way home. Did you see how Bruno swiped that sneaky snake? Said Squeak. Just at that moment, Squeak spotted a lizard crossing the path. He swiped the lizard with his paw, just like Bruno. But the lizard quickly flicked out its tongue, smacking Squeak on the nose. Squeak was so surprised that he jumped. The angry lizard continued on his way. Bruno and Leo laughed. You're so funny, Squeak, they roared. See, he thought he was being all brave, but nope. That lizard had other thoughts. The next day, Bruno and Leo went hunting again. Wait for me, cried Squeak as he followed his brothers down the watering hole. It was very muddy along the bank, and Squeak's paws kept sinking into the mud. It slowed him down. Now I'll never catch up, he sighed as he watched his brothers walking ahead. Then Bruno and Leo stopped. They spied some paw prints in the mud. These tracks belong to a water buffalo, said clever Leo, sniffing the ground. Let's follow it and sneak up on it from behind, said brave Bruno as he looked along the muddy trail. There we have Squeak, and there we have his brothers. By the time Squeak reached the water, there were lots of paw prints in the mud, and his brothers were nowhere to be seen. Squeak sniffed the ground and looked at the paw prints. I can follow tracks too, said Squeak to himself. And then he set off. He followed the tracks, round and round and round for a long way. Squeak could hear his brothers laughing. He looked up and looked around at the tracks. Squeak had followed his own tracks in a big circle. You're so funny, Squeak, laughed Bruno and Leo. There's Squeak. He's going round and round, and his brothers thought he was so funny. The following day, Bruno and Leo were going hunting again. "Wait for me," called Squeak. But this time, his brothers didn't want Squeak to come along. "Not this time, Squeak," said Bruno. "You'll slow us down." "Or get into trouble," said Leo. But Squeak wasn't going to miss a hunting trip. He followed his brothers a little way behind. Bruno and Leo soon disappeared down a trail through some trees. They followed the trail until they found a good place to set a trap. Clever Leo piled some berries under a tree where a hungry squirrel would find them. Brave Bruno climbed up the tree and crept along a branch, ready to pounce. So there they are. And there's the trap. They're setting a trap for a squirrel. Oh, let's see what happens. I smell some trouble. Very soon, a squirrel hopped toward the berries. The trap had worked. Bruno crept further along the branch, ready to pounce. But suddenly, there was a crack. The branch came crashing down. The startled squirrel ran off as Bruno tumbled to the ground. "Ouch!" roared Bruno. His tail was caught under the branch. Bruno was trapped. He couldn't move. "Don't worry, Bruno," called clever Leo. "I'll find a way to get you out." Oh, I don't know. Poor Bruno. Look at him. Oh, he looks stuck. But there's Leo. He thinks he's going to have a way out. Squeak had just caught up with his brothers and was watching from behind a tree. "Oh, my tail," Bruno moaned. "Hurry up and help me out." Now, thought Leo, all I need is a vine and a heavy rock to lift the branch. But Leo didn't finish because a large hurrum interrupted him. Uh-oh, it was the sound of an elephant. "Oh no," groaned Bruno. "We're on an elephant trail. And the elephants were heading this way," gasped Leo. Oh, there's Squeak. He was hiding. And boy, they look scared. While Leo dashed about to find a piece of rope, a long line of elephants appeared at the end of the track. Squeak looked at the elephants, then looked at Bruno trapped under the branch. The elephants were getting nearer and nearer. Leo wasn't going to make it in time. The ground began to shake as the elephants trampled closer and closer. "There's no time to lose," thought Squeak. He saw a gap below the branch that was just big enough for him to squeeze under. He dashed out from his hiding place into the gap, and with more of a roar than a squeak, he heaved the branch with all his might. Wow. I think he's going to save the day. Getting right under that branch so Bruno's tail could be free. Let's see. Does it work? The branch lifted just enough for Bruno to pull out his tail. Then Squeak pulled the branch away. The elephants were almost on top of them. Bruno, Squeak, and Leo leaped into the trees just as the elephants came thundering by. "Wow, Squeak, that was brave," said Bruno. "That was really clever, Squeak," said Leo. Wow, just in the nick of time. And there, all three of them, safe and sound up in the tree. The three brothers climbed down from the tree. "Did you see the way Squeak came to the rescue?" said Bruno. "Wait until we tell everyone how brave and clever Squeak was," said Leo. Squeak felt very proud. "Maybe we should call you Rory from now on," said his brothers. Squeak smiled, but somehow he didn't mind being called Squeak anymore. So there were his brothers. They were so proud of him. And there's Squeak. And there goes the elephants. He saved the day. And that is the end of our story. Squeak didn't have to change his name. He now liked his nickname, Squeak. How about that? Any of you have nicknames? I know I do. So many of you know that my first name is Donna Taylor. But my niece and nephew, they don't call me Aunt Donna. They call me Aunt Dee Dee. And I'm okay with that. That's my nickname. Do you have one? Have a great day, boys and girls. Hope to see you soon.